Hey, it's Julie at Love's Beginning with a talk called Ray of Love. So, the first thing I was given is there is a ray of love that extends through you to the world you see. And what I'm learning is the love is always here, and we're given forms to talk about it because that's how we've decided to see everything and separated. We've chosen separation perception. So language is used to help us understand what is here right now and what can't go away. Love. And that completely changes the meaning of I love you. And maybe takes the words away from expression for a while as we adjust. Love isn't something that you turn on when somebody is worthy and you give it to them, and you turn off like a faucet. You turn it off. In denial, it's something that's always here. So it's not something a person, a character can affect. It's just always here. It's always the most essential nature of everything and everyone I meet. But can I act like it isn't? Definitely. As the character? Definitely. Can I fall into patterns of thought that deny this? Yes, I can, and I have. So I'm seeing the difference there. Love extends through us, and if we look around and are still and quiet, it extends through everybody and everything. If we learn how to be very still and notice that reality of everyone and everything. So it really is lately for me to learn to remember to value the stillness. And that doesn't mean that I don't jump into ego-inspired action or speech. Inspired. Ego-dictated probably is a better description. I do, and sometimes more powerfully than I have in a while. But I think it's just another layer of thoughts coming up from the basement, and meeting those thoughts and being willing to let them go, and coming back to valuing the stillness that is the true nature of everyone and everything. And when I'm busy thinking things about people, I'm not seeing their true nature. I've refused to do that. So every moment, every interaction is it's a chance, it's an opportunity to do that. But we seem to learn over time. We seem to learn gradually. We seem to learn through valuing what ego would show us for a while, and then understanding that's craziness. I shouldn't look over there anymore. I shouldn't believe what it says. And I shouldn't act on it or speak from it. But that seems to take time. And we need to be gentle and patient with ourselves as we learn and as we unlearn. Okay, as you accept blessings, you bring blessings. And the part about that stands out to me is that blessings are already here. And the blessings are everyone we see. They are the blessings. And so as we're willing to accept their true nature, under all the costumes, under all the wrapping, the outward manifestation of a character, they're a blessing. And as we can accept and remember this, we have to be very still and quiet and not listen to any of the memories or any of the opinions or saying they're this or that. I'm not listening to the voice that wants to avoid something that we think is real in them, or extract from them something that we think is real. Oh boy, the avoid and extract. That's really being shown to me lately. If I just come into stillness many moments throughout the day and remember the blessings that are present everywhere. Blessings are always present. And instead of going down a pathway of misperception, I can just accept blessings. that's becoming more clear to me. As you look out into the world, your gaze is like a radio station. So the radio station that I'm hearing is determined by what I'm willing to see. And sometimes I'm willing to see chaos. That's my will for me. To touch that, to see there's something in me that I've allowed to be active, that wants to see chaos, is helpful, because then I'm not a helpless victim to the chaos out there. If I tuned into the chaos radio station and broadcast it out there, then that's what I did. But there's always the frequency of blessing, the frequency of what is real versus the frequency of what is unreal. And that's what I broadcast. And so as I look out into the world, I experience that. So in that sense, vibration is real. I don't talk a lot about vibration, although it can be a useful concept. And here, I'm sure I have talked about it before. Here's why I don't use the word a lot, although I am finding it useful. The reason I don't use the word a lot is that when I look into the past, I see comparison and competition and judgment based on evaluations of somebody else's vibration. Now, that's not my fault. It's not the fault of any character I saw using the word vibration in this way. There is no fault. And I always see what I want to see. So let me acknowledge that, right? So in the past, I must have wanted to see other people misusing concepts in order to judge. Yeah, that sounds right up my alley, because I hear in attached to ego's judgments a lot. So if I saw that happening outside of myself with what looked to be other characters, well, of course I saw that. You see what you want to see. But that's why the word vibration, I don't know why I need to take a break from it for the most part, or introduce it back in slowly, because I heard, in my environment, people believing they could determine another person's vibration. And judge it, means say that it's high or say that it's low. And I still see this outside of myself to an extent. But, as I look out into the world, my gaze is like a radio station. So here we go. It's circular. What do I want to see? What is more real? People seeming to believe they can judge whether somebody's vibration is high or low, or the blessing that they actually are. Which am I more willing to see? One seems more real than another if I look into a past. If I look into a past and say, but you did this, but you said this is a clear indicator that your vibration is blah, 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 blah. Well, what frequency am I broadcasting into my world that I'm making with thought when I'm doing that? And I can feel it. I know by how I feel. So in that word, the word frequency, the word vibration is helpful to me. But I still kind of feel like, well, I have to make sure not to misuse that word, not to make it into a judgment, not to make it into a competition, because the only thing I can judge is how I feel. Okay. And there is a matching radio station emanating from everything you look upon. So it is up to me what I choose to tune into before I seem to look out upon a world. That is going to be emanating from everything I look upon. And it can be tricky. I can tell myself, well, when I look upon this one thing, I'm unhappy. But when I look upon this other thing, I'm happy. But the word I like to substitute is satisfied for happy. It's not true happiness. That's the ego's play of opposites, and I asked ego to send me such thoughts that certain things make me unhappy and other things make me happy. That's more like the ego's fake version of happy. It's not joy. It's not true happiness. It's a temporary satisfaction. I like this. I wanted this. This is what I wanted to see. But the other thing is what I didn't want to see. Actually, everything I see, I wanted to see it. Both opposites. So it's good to remember that. And I'm going to pause for a minute here. You can give yourself to this frequency of joy without opposite because you are it. Well, there's nothing simpler than that. We are it. Everyone is it. And we don't have the capability, the possibility of judging anyone, except to remember the most simple thing about everyone. They are as they truly are, underneath any layers we would project on them, any memories we'd project on them, instead of what they are right now. Letting go of the past is becoming very important, even the immediate past. You are this frequency of joy. Everyone is this frequency of joy, and with the willingness to see it, to be aware of it, to allow it to determine everything, that is everything. That is the pathway to our peace. But it requires pausing, because I hear thoughts from ego all day. It requires pausing to hear it and recognize what it is and see that it's not meaningless, or that it's not meaningful. It is meaningless. And see that it is valueless. And to just wait and then move on. It requires a sane ear to hear and recognize, oh, that's nothing, and then move on. Now, we don't always move on. There's still thoughts from ego that we see as vital, and we use as a guide. So today's the day to see where I've been holding on, where I can let go. Because in the absence of the guidance that I've been relying upon from ego, there's guidance from what we really are, from joy. And I can allow that to determine everything. So when I received this message, I think it was a week ago. I think it was about a week ago. I had this experience right after it. The title that I received was Ray of Love. Oh yeah, that's right there in the first statement. And right after I received the outline for it, my mom, who's in spirit, not embodied in my experience right now, came to mind, and all this healing seemed to happen. The entire concept of mother seemed to be enlightened. All the burdens seemed to fall off it. All the expectations, all the hair trigger willingness to blame, all seemed to fall away. Not that I really believe I had much to blame her for. Not at all. But did I have a warped view of motherhood? Definitely. Do I still? Yeah, probably. But it seemed a big chunk or load fell off that day, and I felt like I could see her and appreciate her more deeply, and I just felt so much lighter. You know, there were tears, there was laughter, there was a lot of happiness. And so just focusing on this ray of love, this love always can extend through us into this world we're making with thought. And that keeps us sane to rely on that love is in us. And when we are in that sanity, we can drop all these burdens from the past, all these ties that have been, kind of holding us down. We can be released from those. And as we allow ourselves to be released, there's such a feeling of freedom and joy. So I'm wishing you happiness today and freedom from all your misconceptions as I let go of mine, and happy healing.